asking me to talk about this very popular Jacob and Bella theory, the shield theory, which I have talked about before, but it is really fun, so I can definitely talk about it again because I do have a few things to add. So basically the theory is that because Bella has a shield, Jacob was unable to imprint on her, and he did try to. We know this from Stephanie telling us that herself, but as we know, you cannot choose to imprint. It's not a choice, it's completely involuntary. Jacob did not want to imprint at all, but if he could have chosen, of course, he would have imprinted on Bella. But the theory is because Bella's shield blocks the imprint, Jacob's imprint goes to little Rasputin. And you're saying here it's because she was like the closest thing, or the next genetic equivalent, or the last remaining piece of human Bella, because vampire Bella is not human Bella, and that's where the imprint went. Now, I do like this, and I think this is a really fun little road to go down, but first, I have to clarify something because I know somebody's going to bring it up. If Jacob and Bella got married, had a baby, whatever, you know, if she had the 2 little kids that she envisioned in her future vision life with him that was cut out of Eclipse, no, Jacob would not have imprinted on their child. He would not have imprinted on little Sarah or Chili. Write that down, get it in your head. There's no scenario in which Jacob imprints on his own child. That is not how imprinting works. I have done a million dissertations on why that could not possibly be, but perhaps the most important reason that you need to know is that imprinting is about reproduction. It is heavily implied to be about that. I think that's going to be explored in the new Twilight books. If you want to hear all about that, check my pin video. But obviously, that is not compatible with imprinting on one's own children. That is just not how it works. And somebody left in the comment, would he have imprinted on Renee? No, I do think this theory is really fun. It's a really fun fanfic premise, and I do think there are a few reasons why it does make sense, or why you could argue that it does, because like in Breaking Dawn, when Jacob goes out and tries to imprint on somebody desperately just because he wants to feel anything else, while Bella is literally unaliving by demon pregnancy, he comes back to Bella and he says, I saw everything that I was looking for when I looked into Bella's eyes. So obviously he was trying to imprint on Bella. And then when he does imprint on Rotini in his POV, besides losing his autonomy, what we really hear about is how her eyes are the same as Bella's. Because imprinting happens when you lock eyes. But something else I want to say, imprinting is like simultaneously implied to be about reproduction, but also like fate. The books try to make it like a soulmate thing that like ties everything up when it's really like anything but. But the story also very much tells the story, despite popular belief, that Jacob and Bella are soulmates, right? Bella literally says this in the world that has no monsters and no magic. Bella literally talks about this, and Stephanie talks about it, how Bella was in love with Jacob, and if Edward didn't exist, which he shouldn't, Bella and Jacob would be together. So in a world without rhombohedron, are Jacob and Bella like meant to be together? Yeah, I would say the story, the text itself literally says that. So it definitely makes sense in that regard, but I do also want to say that Jacob and Bella not being imprints has never made them less appealing to me, like quite the opposite. And don't get me wrong, like there's a really great way to do like a Jacob imprints on Bella scenario, like in fanfics and stuff, but as you know, imprinting is literally like enslavement, and the way that it's done, it just like isn't really romantic. It's like a mandate. And what makes Jacob and Bella really special to me, especially in the context of Twilight, is that unlike all the other couples and love relationships we see in Twilight, Jacob and Bella actually genuinely like each other, and it's a natural development, and it makes all the sense in the world. It's not because of some unimaginable vampire pull where humans can't resist them. It's not because of some wolfy mandate. They just love each other because they do, and I think that's very, very special. If this makes sense, I don't think that anything in the text explicitly argues against this, but I think the truth is that in the world, which is the world the way it should have been, right, where Jacob and Bella are together, Jacob simply doesn't have an imprint in the way that in that world, Bella doesn't have a 100-year-old stalker with supernatural powers of attraction who she literally can't resist and is like a drug to her, just like Jacob isn't enslaved to a weird little demon kid that he can't refuse. And maybe in that world, Bella doesn't even have a shield. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just kind of like, however you think we ended up at this conclusion. Well, I do think this is a really fun theory, and I'm not saying that, like, it couldn't be true. I think Jacob and Bella's love connection, though it is canonically tragic, transcends imprinting and weird supernatural powers of attraction, and that's beautiful. I love them very much, and all these new Jacob girlies, because of Twilight being on Netflix or whatever it is, make me so happy. And all of you that have gotten into that summer show that are now obsessed with Jeremiah and Belly, I'm sorry, because I hope I never made it sound like it ended happily for them, because it doesn't end happily for them either.